Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chief Sean Barnes, Shonbarnes. I'm the Chief of Police for the Seattle Police Department. I always say that I do believe that the media is a very important part of our community. And so a special thanks to our media partners who are here today as I share some very important news and updates regarding an incident that we had over the weekend. As the Chief of Police for the Seattle Police Department, it is my responsibility to address a devastating incident of gun violence that has taken the lives of 3 people and have left 1 person in critical condition. Early Saturday morning at approximately 1:18 in the morning, 4 people were shot outside of a Pioneer Square nightclub in the 100 block of South Washington Street. These victims, all young people in their late teens, 20s, were brutally murdered. Our officers who were already patrolling in the area responded within minutes. They jumped in as medics desperately trying to save lives. They then took reports from witnesses and processed crime scene evidence in conjunction with our detectives. They collected video from both the nightclub and from the witnesses. While we're here, detectives have identified a black Tesla, possibly a Y model, that was last seen leaving the area of the shooting. The person driving or owners is not considered a suspect. We would like to review any video evidence that was captured on this Tesla. We believe that the driver may be a rideshare driver or someone that was simply in the area to pick up a patron. If you are the driver and or owner of this Tesla that was in the area around 1:18 in the morning of Pioneer Square, we would like for you to call our tip line at 206-233-5000. Again, that's 206-233-5000. After the shooting, our officers scoured the city looking for persons that were involved or maybe behind this senseless act of violence. Right now, as of this time, no arrests have been made, but the case is a top priority for our department. And I have told the officers and detectives and supervision that they have all resources of our department at their disposal in order to determine who is responsible for this senseless act of violence. Pioneer Square, as we all know, is one of the most historic and treasured parts of our city. Officers not only responded to this horrific violence on Saturday, but just blocks away, almost 10 days earlier, there was another incident of violence that included a stabbing. Let me be clear. Seattle is a safe and welcoming city, and we will not tolerate violence in our city. Again, our officers and detectives and investigators have been working around the clock since this incident occurred, and we will work very hard to bring a resolution to this case. In response to these incidents, you will see more officers in the Pioneer Square area as we head into the busy summer months with tourism, sports, concert seasons. You will see more officers across the city as we try to manage the different things that we have in our city. To the families of these victims, please know that I have directed every resource necessary to investigate this case to bring the person or persons responsible to justice. Before I close and take a few questions, I want to thank our officers for their actions, our detectives for working around the clock. This has been an incredibly busy weekend for all that were involved. Our victim advocates are working extremely hard trying to support the victims of this incident as well. Not only do officers have to respond to these types of incidents, but we still have to respond to 911 calls, planned protests, concerts, and the like. And we're handling this as best we can. I also want to thank our elected officials and city mayor's office for their response as well. Councilman Saka, Councilman Kettle, who we both spoke with and offered their support during this very, very challenging time. I recognize that there is much work to do. There is much work to do to make and return our city to a safe city where everyone feels safe. Ongoing challenges require ongoing solutions, and we're committed to working with our community, working with our partners to find those solutions. We believe that we'll work together, we will find a resolution to this case and many other cases, and make sure that people feel safe when they go out in the city of Seattle. This time I'll take a few questions.
This comes just as these new regulations for after hours and all this with the fact in the city of Seattle. How do you think this could potentially impact future incidents of this nature in that area?
Certainly, I think that's a right step in the right direction. The question referenced the nightlife ordinances. I think that's very important that goes into effect today, making sure that these establishments do what they can to make sure that people are safe, including hiring security officers who are well trained and can handle these conflicts. We know that the best predictor of violence is a preceding case of violence. And so making sure that they know that, and when these incidents happen and people get into disagreements, that they can resolve those disagreements and or call us if they need it. Making sure that there are surveillance cameras and there's public space cameras so that patrons know that if you go to places and you commit acts of violence, you will be caught. I think that's a great step in the right direction. We also have our joint enforcement team. I wanted to speak briefly about that. That's our team that works with entertainment ordinances, giving them recommendations on how to be safe. I had an opportunity during my first 100 days to actually sit through one of those trainings and offer solutions and help brainstorm. Most of these establishments want to work with us. They want to have establishments that are going to be safe. And we want to make sure that we can do that. And we think the ordinance is a step in the right direction.
Sorry, just one follow-up to that.
Sure.
I know you mentioned you're looking for this Tesla that might have video footage.
Yes.
Were there cameras at the nightclub where this was outside of that captured this, or was it not clear enough?
Thank you. Yeah, so there were cameras. We call them public space cameras, digital evidence. We have a lot of that, and our officers and detectives are going through that now. It is a meticulous process, but I guarantee you they're up for the cause. I was on a call with the detectives just moments ago, and they're working feverishly going through that digital evidence. So yes, there was digital evidence taken from the scene. And if you think that you may have digital evidence, you were celebrating a birthday or a milestone, and you were at this event and you took some video or a selfie, or you were out in the parking lot and you may have taken photos, you can call the same number that I just gave, or you can go to our Crime Stoppers and submit that evidence to us and let us look through it, because you may have captured someone who was responsible for a horrific incident. We did get some cooperation that night, but here's the thing. Now that the magnitude of what happened, people got home and realized that 3 people, young people, lost their lives, and 1 person is holding on to their life in the hospital. That changes things a little bit. And so if you want to cooperate, if you were there, if you want to give us information, you can do that anonymously through Crime Stoppers or anonymously through the number that I just gave, and help be a good partner. Right here.
You mentioned more officers being out there. I mean, how many officers are we talking about? Because there have already been patrols out there, increased patrols.
Yeah, that's correct. We had increased patrols, probably 2 blocks toward the stadium that night, not associated with the event at the stadium. You know, unfortunately, people don't call us and let us know when they're going to use a gun to hurt someone. And so we have to be the best that we can at making sure that those patrols are random, making sure that we're looking at the data, which is why we ask people to call early and often when they see things or when they know stuff, because it helps us determine where we need to be and when we need to be there. Because officers were so close, we were not able to stop this incident, but we were able to try to give life-saving measures to people and perhaps deter further use of gunfire.
So is there a number of officers that will be increased? You mentioned more officers to be out there.
Absolutely. So we have two things that we have done, and this is before this incident. So we have our directed patrols. These are police officers who are currently on duty, right? And then we also are authorized some overtime for officers to go to do violent crime reduction teams. And if you want the numbers, that's 3 teams of one sergeant and 4 officers for 5. And there's 3 teams over the course of the city. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I assume that this is the OHM nightclub that we were talking about. Is it
Yes,
a
sir.
nightclub that operates after 2 a.m.? And do we know if the people who were victims of the attack, were they in this nightclub at one point, and perhaps the suspect or suspects as well?
Yeah, we know that we don't know about the suspects, but we do know that the victims were patrons of this or in the area of the time. We're working to determine if there was a connection. I want to be careful about that, but we're still working to determine that.
And was there security for the nightclub?
I believe there were, yes.
Thanks so much for your time, Chief Barnes. Brady walking on with King 5 News. Just a follow-up question to that black Tesla. You were saying that that is not considered a suspect. So
That's correct.
Back to that black Tesla. What's the significance of that particular vehicle? Did that rideshare driver perhaps drive the suspect? Why were we so focused?
We believe that that vehicle was in the area at the time of the shooting. We know that these vehicles are equipped with video evidence and that they ride over very quickly. So it's important to get that information out now, because if we determine that that person may have captured, or that vehicle, excuse me, may have captured that, we want to get it before the vehicle rides over. There's been other cases throughout the country where we've used cameras from those Teslas to identify people who may have been responsible, but I'm not saying that they were involved at all. They were just in the area. And it's possible that it could have been someone coming to pick up a patron or a ride share. So we're looking at all avenues that we can right now, all information that we can to determine what happened in this particular case. I'll take one more question and then we'll go.
Do you know at this point how many shooters you're looking for, and are the victims involved? Do you know if they were intended targets here?
I do not know if there were intended targets. That's going to be part of the investigation. I do not know how many shooters or potential shooters that there was involved in this particular case. We're going to leave that for our detectives and their work. And once we confirm that, we'll get back with you with that. But this is the last thing that I want to say before we close. There's a lot of work that's going on in this case right now. Detectives have been working since early Saturday morning on this particular case. A lot of support, again, from our council member, Rob Saka, a lot of support from the mayor, and a lot of support in this organization for the work that has to be done. We are committed. We are 100% committed to making sure that we have a safe city. But it takes the police, it takes the community, it takes everyone working together, including those in our criminal justice field. And when we make an arrest in this case, we will come back with you, we'll give you that information, and we will ensure that through transparency that those persons or persons are held accountable to the highest extent of the law. We owe that to the people who lost their lives this week, and we owe it to our survivor. Thank you.